If you're catching the replay, welcome. I'm Steve. Mark's around. Hi, Mark. He's outside. And this is Smokeysteveandmarc. Welcome back, and happy Sunday. Sunday. As I try to get settled here. Centered here. So, here we are, aren't we? It is a rainy Sunday here. It started, well, last night. And, it's been... I only had one errand to run, so I had to go out in the rain, and it wasn't that bad. But Mark's on the porch doing seeding and stuff because he can't go into the garden because it's all wet. So we're just taking it easy. I was doing some stuff around the house. I'm feeling a little blech. What else is new? So we're having ramen for dinner. Good old-fashioned poverty. We're having ramen. It sits well. I end up using like half the seasoning packet so it's not too salty. Hey, Andy. Hey, Nat. LA, hello. Christine, hello. Just as we're diving in to eat. Forgive me for not wearing a hat, but it's too goddamn hot. So, we're not wearing a hat. We're okay, Mr. McPhoebe. We're hanging in. Things have been, I don't want to say busy, but busy isn't right. I don't know. Other stuff has been going on. A lot of stuff's been going on. So, ramen, Carabella. Rainy here in Nevada. Well, that's different. You were at sunshine and 60 degrees. That's beautiful, Christine. We had that over the end of the week. We had some really nice weather. Hey, Beth. So I was really kind of happy to be able to take in some of that, get some natural vitamin D, aside from just pills. They're okay. Mom and Dad didn't come down to visit, actually. Mom had chipped a tooth and was trying to wait her way to go to the dentist to get it fixed tomorrow. So she's like, I don't want to be seen. So that's fine. I wouldn't either. So they didn't come to visit. So it was just us hanging out. We played with the time of the live a little bit so that we could have a little thing. I felt like shit, frankly. And I've been sick most days. And so we're just going to keep moving because what else can you do? It's chicken. Though spicy chicken was more popular in jail. Actually, the chili was the most. Anyone who said they were confused about having soups, like these were called soups, when I was in jail, this is what I mean when I say a soup. A ramen noodle soup package. This would be like 45 to 55 cents worth of value on the commissary. A couple of these you could trade for something else. So this was what was meant by that. And again, we're going chicken, but we went light on the seasoning packet. So, we're just gonna proceed. Do it, Christine. Do it. It throws me back to childhood. It throws me back to college. It throws me back to being sick as a kid. Damn notifications. Well, hopefully they come out. Sometimes I'll get a notification for a community post I put out like 8 hours ago. So, Pixie Dragon, hello. Hello. I guess all food is finger food, technically, if you eat it with your hands. Beauty bite. Right. It is necessary. Ramen's got me through some hard times. Plenty of it in college. Plenty of it when I got my first grown-up job. Because I spent all that money on grown-up looking things and had no money left for food. So, I had nice drapes to cover the fact that I had no furniture. So, but soup was the thing. Definitely in college we had a whole bunch of this, and definitely in jail. Now in jail it would be different. I usually just take the noodles and boil them. And then I drain off most of the liquid. I mean, I don't break them up into any pieces. When I was getting forensic services, the guys would take these and smash them on the ground, so it's in little bitty pieces. And then there's no boiling water, but they would have like a hot water tank, the big tall kind, like you'd have coffee in, like an urn, and they'd have that full of hot water. And you had to buy on commissary a little container, and you put your smashed up soup in there with the hot water and put the lid on and then wrap it in a towel and then wait half an hour and everything puffs up and it's done. And it's, it reminds me of like a nighttime treat because days in jail were hard for not physically hard. I mean, I wasn't on a goddamn chain gang, but it was difficult mentally, I think, for even the most stable of people, to let alone me, be there. And to the extent that I was able to use food for comfort, I would have a couple of these per night. Now I was working out like mad with Justin, so we were working out probably 2.5 hours a day, 6 days a week, and so the ramen wasn't really doing any damage to me weight wise. I ended up losing about 35 pounds during that few months, so there's little to look forward to. But I mean, take into account, I'm in a county jail in the United States. There's other people who are incarcerated for, in much worse places, much harsher circumstances. But yeah, you need little things to look forward to, especially in a like closed residential setting where the whole point was to remove luxuries because that's part of the discipline, part of the correction, part of the consequence. So, depends. It depends. Like if you're in a rehab, cigarettes become gold. If somebody has one, you get excited. Is he on Facebook? Can he still see how he is? Did he light a fire or something? I vaguely remember. Sorry if I'm wrong. So little little to look forward to. He's on Facebook somewhere, but he hasn't been active because he's been incarcerated for years. So no, I haven't looked actually. He probably has his profile still there. Digital remains aren't really a thing. They just stay forever. Hey Sharon, how are you? Hey Miss McPhee. So probably there somewhere. But I mean, like any of us, he's aged. When I was in my 20s, he looked like Superman to me. Like dark hair, the eyes, the very pale skin. He wasn't like those tan, fluffed, and folded kind of muscly guys. He was more of the Punisher tattoo, pale skin, black hair, pierced nipple type of lifting guy. He was cut from a different breed. What was most impressive is that despite all his tough guy looking stuff, he was actually very nice. I was surprised he was nice. I'm surprised I was open-minded enough to even indulge it. So it was a good lesson in you never really know. You expect anyone you meet in jail to be a criminal, and we were. But, I was a lot of other things than just a criminal, especially after I quit drinking. But so goes on that end. But yeah, ramen's comfort food. Ramen makes me feel better, so that's what we're having. Mm-hmm. Oh no, LA. I talked to Mark about this totally. One of the things, always straight guy crush. Any unlocked institution, 28 days, 45, 90 days, 72 hours, as a distraction from recovery and treatment. Something always comes up. Now, a lot of people, if they're in a co-ed rehab, will get into relationships, rehab romance, they call it, and they end up leaving early to go live on love, and they both relapse in a week, and then everybody dies. So it wasn't quite like that. Hey, Susie Q. Hello every day. Hello. But straight guy crush. Something to think about between meetings, something to kind of occupy your mind. You shouldn't be doing it. You should be focused on recovery. For $1,000 a day, you should really be focused on while you're there. But it's a thing. Mark was my crush when I was at that place. He just happened to be gay. But other times there's always the straight. I can name 1,000 guys in different places where it's been. There's a sense of like big brotherliness that they have, but also not. I don't know. But they make good company. I always thought men made terrible company and that I would mostly have female friends. But as I got locked in places with only men, you start to figure out what kind of guy do I like as a friend. Because I know what kind of guy I would date or kind of guy I would marry, but not the kind of guy that I would like hang out with or lift with. Like, what the hell are we going to talk about? I'm not sure. But it was a good lesson to me, Good lesson for me to not be so judgmental. And so scared. And guys, tough guys aren't tough guys. I mean, most of them aren't. They're just big scaredy cats. Like if someone's 40 and they've spent 20 years of their life in jail, you can function very well as an adult in incarcerated, a situation, state prison, county prison, whatever. But navigating in the world is something that I think the skills just aren't there. And there's reentry programs for people coming out of jail, reentering society, trying to go back to be a productive person, but dyed your hair red and blue. Oh, for the 4th? Well, honey, I had more hair then, too. That was 2020 was the year of bleaching. I think I had, like, permanent burn, because I was bleaching my hair probably every month. I did the COVID thing, bleached my hair, and then I dyed it silver. But my hair was so short and I have so little of it, you could like barely tell. It looked purple at a distance. Then did red and blue for that. Memories brings you back, doesn't it? Back when I had hair. Now I'm tending to go balder. I'm going much lower than I usually do, but I got a gift from my parents of an electric shaver, like that you can use in Faye's head. It's like round, like you'd grip it like that, chargeable, and it kind of sucks the hair up into it, so it's not making a mess everywhere. Well, it's good on the face because I get a beard from here to here. I get hairs all the way up to here, and then down here, and then as we get older, hairs start growing places. For every one that falls off my head, another one shows up somewhere else. At any rate, so I've been keeping my hair pretty low. You know, I usually wear hats anyway, so there's really no good occasion where I'd have to grow it out that I can think of. I can't think of, man, like even for the wet, I bleached my hair when we got married, like a week or two before, so I'd have like a little bit of salt and pepper roots with platinum on the end. You can only do so much with what you have. So I had done it for that, and that was kind of fun. But I haven't done anything with it since. I mean, I think I've kind of conceded to the fact that it's not, unless I get new hair at some point. I don't think so. Check out that PayPal of ours. You want to get Steven some hair? Send money. Do not send money. Do not. That's one of those, if we get filthy rich and don't have to do anything anymore, then I'll go the route and get my hair put in. Let's get Steve to Turkey for a hair transplant. I know, right? Should ask John Cena or Elon Musk. But I mean, if they looked good, I would. Why wouldn't you? Who wouldn't want to have hair rather than not? It's fun to play with and style, especially if you like to do things with your hair, or it's part of your aesthetic or whatever. Mine never really was too much. But if I had it back, I'd be playing with it. I'd be doing stuff with it. I don't think I'd go for a man bun. I don't think I'd grow it out. And then play with it. But we're talking about, I'd have to have not just FU money, I'd need F everybody money to do something like that. The retirement gig is going to be hair plugs. As long as we're on a first floor, Mark's along for the ride. And then I want to pass out peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and Narcan in hard hit sections of Philly to do community outreach. So that's the goal. Because there's no money in passing out sandwiches to people who are half dead of heroin addiction on the street. So sun looks good in a man bun. Some people do care about. I'm not making a sweeping statement. I'm just saying. I know, Foxy, right? The hair fibers, I thought, actually, on a foodie note, when she was using them like properly, when her hair was just thin, they worked. They were okay. There's another YouTuber I follow, Cinemassacre is the channel, and it's a lot of Nintendo stuff and like things like that, just kiddie stuff that's like grown up. He's got about 4 million subs, and because he's been on YouTube since like it started, like when it was like 2005, I think was when he started his channel, and so he's 40 years old now compared to when he was in his 20s, and his hair went like up to here, but then for a few episodes it looked like it came back down, and then it went back up again. So I'm guessing it was, if you weren't handsome, you'd need the hair to make up for it. Well, you know, why paint the peacock, I guess. But so it goes. So it goes. Now with my hairline being all the way back to here, the shaved is fine. But I mean, it was, at first, it was kind of a, the last time I had long hair was in 2012. I was in rehab in 2012. And I didn't get a haircut for the 3 weeks I was in jail because unless you're staying for at least like a couple months, they don't put you on the list to go see the barber. And you can shave if you want, but you have to get up early and check out a razor and check it back in. And so I was kind of overgrown at that point. And I was like, just give me the Full Metal Jacket. And they just shaved my entire head. And then after that, I kind of kept up with it, keeping it low. It was easy to do. And I get a habit of pulling on my hair when I had it longer. I mean, like this long, not long at all, but I would pull on it. So this just took care of that too. And it's less muss and fuss. Honestly, I don't use shampoo. I do use conditioner for like moisturizing of the scalp and the whatnot. But I don't know. Saved me money on haircuts too, because I was spending so much, like $10 every 2 months. So how many rehabs did you go to before it stopped? be with you in a moment. I went to one of them twice, so we'll call that 2. 6. 5 and a halfway house, which was residential. I was there 3 months, so we'll say 6. And the last time that it stuck was 2012. Now, that's not to say I got completely sane and completely sober on that date, but that's the date when interest towards being healthy as opposed to being sick all the time was what came up. So I thought rather than just giving in and keep having, crash on my face once after another, I'm like, let's just try a little bit. And it was that magic combination of I was in a position I was willing to put some effort in, I was in the right place to get and the right help was present. That's a perfect storm that, doesn't happen a lot. So recovery rates for addiction are very, very low. Very low. Any rehab that says, our recovery rate after 1 year is 90%, self-reported. So yeah, if you're still sober in a year, you're going to call the rehab and tell them. What about the other hundreds of people who left, used the next day? You guys know Bandit. Bandit came and sat with me earlier, and I pet him, and he let me. This is a very big deal. So, thanks, Ruby. We, a wink and a nod to what the fuck is her name? Milk Tea. Sorry, mine's not all it could be today. He likes the background. Right, buddy? Huh? He's gonna bite me. You gonna bite me? No? Okay. He came and sat next to me. Mark was filming for tomorrow. It's Cinco de Mayo. So he was putting together a video for tomorrow. Hopefully it comes out on Cinco de Mayo. And he was filming some sort of clip and Bandit was sitting next to him and Bandit moved or made a hiss or something and Mark's like, that's it! Get out of here! Go talk to your father! So I'm in the kitchen. Come here, honey. You want a treat? Mark has that deep-seated, out of nowhere Italian sort of temper that just kind of comes with, and I'll just call it a temper, Recent comment where you replied to someone about the foodie content and being on hold for a moment. Yeah, that's kind of what it is. I mean, we haven't made an official statement, so we're still checking in live. I'm still hanging out with y'all. And she's not a taboo topic. It's not like she whose name ought not be spoken. Foodie is no big deal. She's popular enough that she's fair game to talk about. But I've been keeping up with her with an eye on her, but it's always been repetitive. But it's getting so repetitive. And I have this sneaking feeling that something bad's going to happen soon. Like within a month. I feel like she's going to have some big consequence that she didn't see coming. And I think it'll be health, probably. But it's going to knock her off her square, to where she thinks she's untouchable. Something's going to happen that makes her feel like she's not. And, that's the thing, Smokey. There's nothing new to report. She went back on mukbangs, and then she stopped, and then she was going to do a water fast, and then she did like an 85-hour live. Her husband, the important businessman, can spend the cash. Yeah. Sure he is. Oh, Roxy. It's not like she's gone and dead, and it's not like I'm saying we can't or I won't ever talk about her. It's just as of late, taking a bit of a break from giving her an hour of my Saturday or an hour of my Sunday. But I promise you it's not a forever thing. There was reasons outside of Foodie herself that I was following her. Next Visa run should be probably coming up soon. She's trying to stack some money now. Six-hour live is a money grab. Or loneliness. But, I mean, she's also kind of lately. Hey, if you guys want to see me eat something on camera, send me 3 times the cost of it, and maybe I'll do it in a month. No, we were just BSing. We threw a little foodie talk in there, but you didn't miss anything, Christine. No. Same old, different day. There's one scene where 4 or 5 people are just staring at her. Yeah, she's a spectacle. I might, Foxy. We come in once in a while with those. I mean, when the channel first started, we didn't talk about Foodie at all. And then when we got into talking about her, it was regular. It was like a scheduled weekly video. That was at the point where we were putting out almost a video every day. Because it was COVID. I was home. So I'd finish up work, and I'm already here. So I would just jump into the channel and stuff like that. So I did not like her when I first heard about her. It was like a soap opera. As the flub turns. God. They were fun to do. They were. But I don't know. Maybe if her channel takes a different turn, I don't know. Terribly rainy and cold in central New York. The weather here is rainy. Not cold, actually. Unless, well, it depends on what you call cold. But I would say it's in the 60s right now. We don't have the heat on. We live in an apartment where we don't pay for the heat month by month. I mean, we pay for the heat. It's wrapped into the rent. So they control when the heat comes on and the heat comes off. And I want to say it's like May to September or something. So they had turned the heat off. We had a couple really cold nights, and then it was okay. There's nothing to say. Fake boyfriend. Eat a lot. Blame everybody for my shit life. You know. Yeah, he's just eating. Yeah, his eyes aren't closed. He's just staring. He's just watching the flowers. I don't know, ferals. Well, that's the thing. I used to always at least check it. The least I would do, and it would be the least, is I would go on and search Foodie Beauty and at least look at the thumbnails to get a vibe. You know, what is it? Okay, the last 5 videos were mukbangs. That's the run we're on. If there's not a lot of videos up, go to the community post and where she ran her mouth about and where she's hiding. She's got patterns, so it's not as exciting or interesting as much as it ever was. Yeah, and her chat, they're not good for her. I mean, she's no good for them. And she looks down on everybody but them, and it's only because they look up to her. She's Barbara Thorndike, is who she is. If you know, you know. You know? You know? So she's, yeah, like I said, she's not going to be a taboo topic, but it's just not something we've been tracking. Like I said, I feel like something's going to happen. We pulled away from even talking about Jen for a while. Not that we reviewed Jen, I just kind of knew Jen, and it wasn't to bring her up in the discussion. Like, Jen knew I mentioned her name. I mean, there's nothing I would have said on camera that I wouldn't have said right to her. Not as far as insults, maybe things that were a little more, I don't know, personal, we'll say. Kind of friendly, gave her shout-outs. Oh yeah, we have, full disclosure, there's a heating pad somewhere in here that Life by Jen had sent us when she got her first big viral video. What a fat woman eats in whatever. It's not new, it's not a new idea. But for the size of her channel, it had like 1.5 million views pretty quickly. And her channel sprouted up to about 20,000 subs pretty quickly. But it turned into just another one of those obesity sagas. So, but when she made her first big check, she was like, thanks guys, I just wanted to get you something. And of course, you know, we're half dead and crippled. So of course a heating pad's always a good gift. And she had found some jalapeno butter popcorn that I had been looking for. So she was sweet, she was thoughtful. And then Jean showed up. And I literally had probably one more conversation with her after that. Not that we would check in a lot. I mean, if I saw her on Messenger, maybe we would chat, you know, every couple days. I don't know what Jean's doing. I don't think he's well wherever he is. I'm sure he's still drinking and saying it's Jen's fault. Not her fault, but she died. I mean, his wife or fiance or whatever passed away. So he's going to drink on... That gives him a reason to drink forever now, as far as he's concerned. He's going to be sitting in circles, drinking coffee, talking about that for 20 years, unless he stops drinking and, you know, gets himself together. Kind of like then Tommy died? Yeah. I'm sure. Gene's kind of like I said, Gene's, and when he's a doll baby, I'm sure when he's sober, like real sober, not just not having a drink in him, like when he's in a good period of like working, paying bills, being nice, he's a doll baby. He'll come shovel your sidewalk and, you know, let me get that for you. I grabbed your mail. And then, you know, next thing you know, he's stealing packages off your porch. You know, sweetheart, but a total scumbag when he's in addiction mode. And I get that vibe from Gene a lot. So, Sean has weak excuses for the eating. I thought it was just around because Jen provided for him. I think, well, he had nowhere to go. I think he was leaving either a rehab or a jail or somewhere, had nowhere to be. And they had talked online for years, as far as I understood. And they hadn't met in person until he moved in. I don't know. People meet online. I know. It's a thing. It's more often now than not. People will meet online, at least initially, and then hang out in person maybe if they live close by or something. But I don't think either of them got what they were banking for. And I think she would eat when he drank and he would drink when she ate. And then they'd both promise to stop, and then they'd come up with some new plan, like he's going to go to work and I'll be a housewife, and it lasts for 3 days until she's home alone and binges. And then he, drinks to get back at her for hurting herself. Two addicts, it's hard. Mark and I are both addicts. Recovered, retired, whatever you want to call it. Recovering, if you must. It can get messy real quick, especially if you're both sick at the same time. One of you gets sick, the other one, if they're grounded, can okay, get to a rehab or get out. Somebody can make decisions in the couple. But if both people are sick at the same time, it's so messy. And with Jen and Gina, it got messy. And she died. Those were so good, LA. Like I said, my tummy's been doing flips, but those went down pretty okay because it wasn't heavy on the sauce. They were good. Make sure, now you could probably use green peppers if you like green peppers. I like these sweeter ones, the red and yellow orange. So good. So good. Looking back at the recipe, it did need 20 extra minutes to my satisfaction to poke it till the thing was tender, not falling apart. But I hate having to eat a stuffed pepper with like a knife. I don't want it to be soupy. I don't want to cut it with a spoon necessarily, but it's toothsome a little bit. So we had those, and they were great. We still have some more left. We'll probably freeze a couple. But they were just real tasty. I wouldn't recommend, actually. I know people said, well, maybe you can go in with just raw chicken and stuff them like you would raw meat into like another kind of pepper or something. And these were unique too because there was no starch. There was no rice binding it. There's breadcrumbs on top, but there was no other binder in it. It was just cheese and sauce, and we had cooked chicken that we had used. So rice is good. Though it depends. Some people were never like, okay, if you throw the rice in raw and think it's going to be cooked, it's not. Unless your Nonna really knew what she was doing. Or Papsmo. Whatever it is in the Polish one. No, the raw rice is terrible. Now, if you drown that, like, people like tomato soup with stuffed peppers. I don't know why. I think it's gross. But if you put tomato soup all over it, fill it with some water, cover it in foil, and let it go for 2 hours, maybe that rice will soften up. But otherwise, probably not. I cook the rice first. That's how I roll. Mom had a recipe she used to make all the time. I don't know if anyone's ever had it. It's a favorite. It's another comfort food of mine because my mom only had a few recipes in her wheelhouse that she did well. And she would make one called mock filet mignon. And it would be ground beef mixed with cooked rice, salt, pepper, tiny bit of garlic powder. I mean, a little. It's not meant to even be anything. And then some Worcestershire sauce or some steak sauce, A1. You mash those up and put them in a ball. And then, make a thick kind of patty like a tenderloin would be. Wrap it in bacon and put it in the oven. And let it cook and it gets bacony and cheesy. And then when it comes out, you pour cream of mushroom soup over the top. Like condensed cream of mushroom that you've thinned out probably halfway at least so it's spoonable. And then have that over the top. And then have it with greens or roasted potatoes or something. So good. That brings me back. That's a happy childhood food. I'm sure if I look for it, it was one of those. She was a mom in the 80s doing all the cooking. So we always had things like Tupperware and stuff you could try to cook in the microwave and all that kind of thing. So I have to throw back. That's another one I would like. My dad makes a really good parm. He makes good eggplant parm, actually, and meatballs. People come over to watch my dad make meatballs and to find out his recipe. We're not even Italian. Well, of all of us, Dad isn't Italian. So, but go figure, I guess when you got it, you got it. Deconstructed. Like, just throw all that shit on a plate. Here. There's your deconstructed. But. So. I don't know. These are going down okay. But food, I think, is like a food memory thing for everybody. It's comfort. It's a lot of times childhood. I have a lot of memories of food I ate. I don't have a lot of specific memories. I have one when I got lost at a flea market when I was 4. And I was wearing an orange poncho with a frog on it. That's my first memory ever. And then after that, I'm in and out for a few years till I'm about 8, But I remember a lot of time. I remember the chicken cordon bleu I had at a wedding for my cousin, who is probably in her 60s now. I was sitting on somebody's lap. That's how little I was. And I remember I didn't like the chicken cordon bleu. I didn't know what was in it. I thought it was funky. And it had a nice dance floor. I remember the food. I probably couldn't tell you the name of the cousin that got married, though. It just didn't come up. In high school, I remember the macaroni and cheese. They would put tomatoes in it. Now, when I would make it at home, it was never as good. And people were always fighting for the secret recipe for the mac and cheese. So, unstuffed cabbage. Yeah. Sometimes around here, people will call it piggies, stuffed piggy stuff, and they'll call it piggy soup. Essentially, it's all the same ingredients. They just chop it up and make a soup instead of wrapping it up and fussing with all that stuff. Makes a good layered casserole, though. If you're into that kind of thing. It's kind of like when we go back to our fair lady. Her fast food comfort food is McDonald's. I didn't eat a lot of that. We used to eat fast food maybe once a week. Maybe. Growing up. We would go to McDonald's or Burger King after church on Sundays. Just for breakfast or whatever. So we didn't do a whole lot of eating out otherwise. Oh, there's quite the variety in the local area. There's not a lot of diversity, or there wasn't when I grew up, outside of Eastern Europe and Italy and whatnot. So there was no people of color, but still people found a way to divide themselves. Can you imagine? So there was the Italian side of town, and the Irish side of town, and the Polish side of town, and people who could make super side, and people who made the Vina Rosa in the basement with no. Yeah, McDonald's was a treat. That wasn't food. That wasn't something we would have often. My parents didn't buy fast food for us when they were too busy to cook or anything. That wasn't. They always made time to find some sort of food. If it was a pack of hot dogs and a can of beans, it was something other than go through the drive-thru. Oh. Rare Pizza Hut. You know what was fun, Foxy? When you get the little from the reading club and you get the little personal pizza and you realize when you get it, it's about the size of a hockey puck. Yeah. Pizza was every Saturday night. I will say that for the sake of fast food, if you want to call it fast food. Every Saturday night was pizza night. My mom used to work graveyard over the weekends in a hospital when we were kids. And so mom could sleep and dad didn't have to cook. We would have pizza every Saturday night. And they still do. When my parents come down on Sundays, they bring pizza from the night before because 40 years, 30 years, I forget how long they've been doing it, but same place. They love it. And the pizza has stayed consistently pretty good, even though it's changed hands a few times, So, pizza brings me back. Pizza's another one of those. You kind of can try to figure out where you are in the world by what the pizza is. Locally, there's something called Old Forge style pizza, named after Old Forge, which is a town just outside of Scranton. And it's unique in its crust. It's a very yeasty crust. The sauce is very bland. It's just tomato-y. And then it has mixtures of mozzarella and American cheese on it. It sounds disgusting, and a lot of people think it is. But also, it's kind of a delicacy. In the office, they mentioned it, So, Pizza Hut had a great lunch buffet. On half days of school, we used to carpool to go to the lunch buffet at the Pizza Hut down the Einen, a couple 2-3 miles. Because it was good. I grew up outside of Scranton, Pennsylvania, northeastern Pennsylvania. So it's an old coal country is where we are. So it's a lot of leftover families are Irish, Eastern European, Italian, a lot of Polish, a lot of Slovak, that kind of thing. It's only later now that there's been an influx of a big Latin population came into Scranton, and then an African-American population came in further up, so... We're living. We're having some Blaine noodles. We're talking with friends. And we have work tomorrow. So, we'll be alright. We'll be alright. Southern Kentucky. Yeah, Scranton doesn't really have any other foods they're known for, except for that pizza. But otherwise, regionally, we're not really known for anything too special. that I can think of. The next closest town, I mean, Philly is 2 hours away. New York is 2 hours away. So you can get food near. If you have a taste for fine dining and, usually urban areas, it's more concentrated, you can get to some good food in not too far. There's a lot of little gravy houses, like little restaurants, mom and dad run ones, pasta houses, pizza places that are delicious. I mean, there's 1,000 of them. And the town I grew up in, there's a bar and a funeral home on every corner. It's kind of that region also. Our heyday was in the 1900s. So we've been on a steady decline in this region ever since. Yeah. But that's the local. All my old memories are gone. Like the landmarks, like my high school, elementary school was bulldozed. It was condemned. They tore it down. The restaurant where Mark worked, where I worked as a kid, and where we had the wedding, torn down, sold, gonna be changed over. So, aside from memories and pictures, it's about. And I'm not big on pictures. I should be. I hate pictures, but when people are dead, it's all you have left. So, no fast food till 16. Woo. Not well. It was shut. There was a YMCA across the street from it. And they had ownership or first dibs purchase over something. The restaurant had already sold off the parking lot to the building across the street because it was on its way out. It was a family restaurant on its way out, pretty much. Good family, good food, good restaurant. But just, the kids didn't take it over, and it just kind of kept with that. So it was closed within like a month after the wedding, and then gutted. The whole place, selling the coolers, selling the machine. Yeah, the whole thing is just gone. So, but a lot of memories there. I worked there. My brother worked there. My aunt worked there when she was in high school. My grandfather had his wedding reception there. We had his after funeral there. A lot of family events kind of snuck in and out of there. It's sad, but we got the memories. So, it's okay. We can't go back. We'll go back and sit on a chunk of sidewalk next to it and be like, oh, remember old times. I suppose. Oh, and the videos, Andy, you're right. We filmed the wedding reception and the wedding. It's up. There's a wedding playlist, I think. So you can watch about an hour and a half of the reception and the whole ceremony. It was not professionally done. So, it's great for us. I remember the music. I remember the food. I remember the people. I remember some of y'all were there. I remember. So it was a good time. I was glad we waited too, because I proposed during COVID. And I didn't want to get married in a mask, but I also didn't want to host a super spreader. So we waited a couple of years. Dancing around watching. The White Shirt Wonder. His office is right next to mine. People still talk about it. Yeah, we had to go. Well, that was the point of kind of having people there, because I couldn't think of any other way to kind of tie it all together, to have people that mattered to us have a way to kind of participate. Even though they're not there, they can be there. So that was what we had come up with. And it was, I think, a good idea, because it's a record for us, too. I had me and Mom dancing, and Mark and I, so I've seen the footage. So it's nice to have those. And everything on the internet's forever. So it's there forever. Yes. Oh, yeah, Mara was a wild one. Yeah. She likes a good time. She was kind of like the unofficial wedding coordinator. Well, that was a goal, Susie, to have people, I know they talk about things like friendships and parasocial relationships, which are like not like friendships, but they're still I don't know. There are a lot of lines. It was nice to have some people I like and that I know there, and that they were able to celebrate it with us, because, if we had all the money in the world, it'd be like, how many are on that numbered list? 7,500 people? 7,500 invitations. Everybody's coming. I don't have it like that. But if we did, that probably booted the way we went. We already joked about doing a road trip and living off of Super Chat, like Elvis Travels. And we'll just go from place to place, sleeping on your couches while we travel. We have a lot of people in the upper Midwest that we could cluster around to go see. But it was just a thought. Yeah, but we got lucky. Like I said, Mary was a good egg. I don't know what happened to Elvis Travels. I haven't thought of Elvis Travels since the last time I thought of, like, maybe Pam Taught. Like, I haven't thought of too many of those channels that were all, I watched at the same time then, you know? You have a bed in Vegas if you're inclined. You have 3 cats and a husband. Well, I'm sure the cats won't mind. I'll sleep in the car. I don't care. I'm just joking. I always, you know, you play in your head. If I ever hit the lottery, of course, you know, for someone who wants to hit the lottery so bad, I never buy a goddamn ticket. Not one, ever. But, hey, Tuxedo. But if, you know, we come into money, it's going to be hair plugs, maybe skin surgery. We'll see. Maybe skin surgery. And, what else? Oh, yeah, passing out peanut butter sandwiches in drug dens. So. It's because you're smart. Oh, me? I mean, you gotta play to win, but I was never, they'll do that not at my job, but at other jobs I've been at where, like, everyone, if it's the Powerball, everyone will go in $5 and everyone gets like $100 worth of tickets, and then if one person wins, we all win. Loose skin, LA. I would go for loose skin around my tummy, in my chest, and I don't think I need a butt lift. But if I got to a stable, solid weight, like my set point, I hit it around 2019. And I stayed there for a while, and then gained a little, and gained a little. And then around the wedding, I lost some, and then gained a little. And then I've lost some recently again. So if I could stay at a certain weight, fixed, you know, then I would think, yeah, get myself trimmed up. Because I've never been to the beach with my shirt off, like, ever. Even if you tighten it now, in 15 years it'll be hanging again. Yes, but if I'm filthy effing rich, Miss McPhoebe, I can do it again in 15 years. Now I'm going to look like a wax doll, probably, at a certain point. No, Mr. McPhoebe, the darling landlord has done nothing about either. No. And I'm not interested in starting in with it. Mark does most of the communication with that. I mean, the leases, I sign my name, it's all that stuff. But he does most of the communicating. We have to send our rent through some app that they prefer, and it's like not Cash App or PayPal, it's like something else. And there's a fee to pay it, and so Mark handles that bit of business. Thank you, Tuxedo. You always remember the people that looked out for you when you can look out for them. I'd be broke. I'd be one of those people that, like, lottery ruined my life. Yes, LA, we have to go to the laundromat. But I will say, I'm not too proud to say we did go out and buy some towels because we didn't have some fresh ones right on hand. So it's, you know, it's not beyond me. You know, little stuff we can wash in the sinks and delicates and underwear and stuff like that. We've been going through a lot of our costumes because, I mean, this was something I pulled off the shelf that was, I don't know, this was in with some costumes, some show shirts that we have. And I'm like, I could wear this to work. I'll throw a button down over it. It'll be fine. So we're finding our way into clothes that we don't wear it a lot, or I didn't think it would fit, and now it fits. And then, you know, we do that. Those people who win the lotto and lose it all on dumb investments and family that comes to the work, that'd be me. I'd be like handing out. I'll be like, oh, guys, you need anything? I'll like, do it this way. Instead of you guys sending me super chats, what I'll do is pick you guys and then send you money. That's some Chantal winning the lottery shit. I promise. I promise I'll give you all of it when I have it. I know, LA. Mr. McKeeve, you always asking too. I just, it's such a nice perk, but I don't want to. Summertime, I feel like if there's certain kinds of times, it's not stir the shit, but it's one of those things where I have to be more assertive than I would prefer to be. You know, it's not an easy, quick text. Oh my God, didn't know. Yeah, we'll get on it in a month. Tell me in a month. Tell me in 2 months you'll do it, but put a date on it, something. Because what will end up happening is that they'll eventually come by and see the problem and say, why didn't anyone tell us? People have been telling you for months that there was a problem. So in the meantime, laundromat, little bits here and there. You know, could always bring some up to my parents and do it there. They have like the household size washer dryer. So The window in the oven would be a nice perk. It's consistently 50 degrees off. I'll say, at least for our sake, that's consistently off. So if it's always 50 degrees off, then you can predict. Like to bake those peppers, we had to set the oven. We got jammed up making the video because I set it to 350, which means that when we were ready to bake, it was at 300. So I had to turn it up to 400 to get it to 350 to make them. It bothers Mark more because he's in the kitchen more. I mean, you could give me one burner. I could probably live on a hot plate. You know, I'd find a way to make gooey cinnamon rolls on a hot plate. Kathy did. I will too. So, but he's a, retired chef. He likes food. He likes his equipment, and he likes good equipment. He'll buy good and take care of it. So, I don't know. And that one burner kind of sparks, but I don't know. There's some landlords, like our last landlord, one before this, I would never call for that kind of stuff. I don't think he would have cared. They want money to hit me up, even they know I don't have it to spare. Can't see into it, need to sit about it. I know. You know how it is with people. Someone with 20 bucks in their wallet will loan you 10. Someone with 80 grand in their wallet will say, oh, sorry, can't spot you. Poor people are good tippers. Not poor people. I would say people that have consistently worked for money their whole life, who haven't had either someone look after them or a trust fund or, a partner who did it for them. Like someone who's worked and earned money before can appreciate those kind of things, I think. Especially when you're living off tips and your personality. Like, I'd be screwed. It would not be good. It would not be a good thing. Folks, we got a nice little crew in here for now. Please don't hesitate to hit the thumbs up if you feel so inclined as you're passing through. It's always good for the algorithm. And also, just to another reiterate, we have memberships now. We have memberships up. You can click the join button. It's somewhere down here. Or if you're on a laptop, it comes up, or on a computer, it comes up. So definitely check that out if you feel so inclined. It's another way to support the channel, and it's going to give you access to a couple benefits that regular old, don't. Hey, Panda. Happy Sunday to you. Happy Sunday to you, too. We're getting there. The week begins. People who are rude to service workers. I don't either, Andy. Get me a break. I'm not tipping you. This wasn't this, and that wasn't that. And then the people that, treat servers like shit, and then look at their children knowingly, see, this is how you handle people. Like, fuck you and your pickup truck. Asshole. But people who think that people in service positions can be treated like garbage are usually garbage people. Like, how dismissed are you in your own life that you need to come feel like God by ordering around some 16-year-old who's getting you a Diet Coke? And then not tipping her so she'll learn a lesson of some sort? You don't need to be teaching lessons. Just tip her on the goddamn soda. Or someone writes something nice on the slip, like, I'm sorry, we don't tip illegals. So they don't leave any tip at all when they go. Why would you go out? Never mind. Never mind. We're coming on to the hour and not too long. Anybody have anything fun coming up this week? Any big challenges? Any new scary things you're trying out? This is my quiet week. I have another 2 really busy weeks in the middle of May. So I'll tell you now, Dinner with Steve will be happening, but probably somewhere in the mix, and then some other shorter videos, because it's when I get busy, I have to take off the day before and the day of to do stuff. So details about memberships listed in the community post. They should be in the description. There should be a link, I believe, in the description to click. If not, it'll be in the description of this video, where you can click to join. It's a monthly membership. It's $2.99. We don't start a whole hell of a lot, and you'll have access to some member updates, member live streams, that kind of thing. So you can do member chats where it would be anybody can come in, but then only the members can chat, like Foodie does. But I don't, unless you're trying to avoid people, I don't know, or keep it not too crowded. I don't have to worry about it being too crowded. We're good. Okay? So, big week. The big yard cleanup and starting the garden. Mm. Ooh, Brussels sprouts. Love those. Did the ATM problem hit Giant the whole system for Royal? No, not that I know. I don't know. I didn't go. I went around. They're doing construction by our Giant. It's a hassle. So much of a hassle that I just went to another store. So, yoga is fantastic. What a great thing to be into. It's mind, body, spirit, all of it. Only cash purchases. The only time they put notes on the door around here that it's like, if the SNAP goes out, like food stamps goes out, people get pissed because I mean it's a lot of lower income families in this area and a lot of senior citizens, and that's how they pay for their food. So if SNAP goes down, they might have a full cart full of stuff and they can't do anything. Whenever I've gone to Redner's, they only take cards, no cash at self checkout, and I don't know why. It's been like that for. They put up a sign like it's going to be, temporary, but it's been up for 2.5 years. So, and I like the convenience of self checkout, but I don't want to put cashiers out of work. But I'm just one person. But aren't we all like getting those stupid little mind f things while you're waiting in line? I know not to take cash. Usually it's cash only. Card system's down. We'll take cash only. That's usually how it rolls. It's the opposite for some reason. They don't want cash. I guess they're just not handling it. They only want card transactions, and no cash back either. That's the other thing. No cash and no cash back if you pay with your card. So, weird. Very weird. But they have decent sales, so it's okay. Certain things I prefer cash, certain things I prefer card. Mostly card. I used to have a real, I used to get really into, lotto tickets, scratch-off tickets, things like that. And depending on what time of year it is, I can catch a habit on a lot of stuff real easily. And I went through this one bender buying so many lottery tickets. I mean, I was paying the bills and then they were gone. Absolutely gone. I'd blow all my money and then get paid again and then go through more of it. And then I just stopped carrying cash. And when my mood changed, the behavior stopped. And when I stopped carrying cash, I stopped doing it. And it's been fine for years since. Patties and raindrops. Bean patties and raindrops. Mick Boyle. I had a black bean burger from Chili's. They opened up a new Chili's in the next town over, and it's an office theme because everything in Scranton is. And I had a black bean burger. It was fantastic. It was absolutely fantastic. I don't like paying the extra, but I don't have cash. The only place that I have to pay cash, if I go to the dispensary, the medical marijuana dispensary, they only take cash. They don't take credit. They don't take debit. None of it. There's an app you can use that they're linked with, but otherwise everywhere else takes cards. But I still don't like handing my card in the drive-thru. Like if I don't have $2 in cash on me, I don't want to go through the drive-thru and hand my debit card to get a Diet Coke. There's nothing wrong with it. It just feels extra to me for some reason. I don't know why. It's not. Of course it's not. But it just feels that way. So had to go to CVS today, man. Yeah, they're only cash. It's so interesting. We were talking about Foodie Beauty during COVID and pre-COVID. She was getting edibles and her other stuff and her smoke, and she was getting it delivered. I'm like, I don't know how many years of progress we're going to need before you can get weed delivered in Pennsylvania. I don't see it happening. We have a very progressive governor. So progressive, they tried to burn his house down. So we have that going for us in PA. Otherwise, it's kind of a purple state. So, it's not whether a good idea. It's not whether the idea is good or bad. It's whose mouth it came out of, and then we decide if it was good or bad. So, so goes. But in Pennsylvania, we have medical, but we don't have anything else. There's no recreational in Pennsylvania. You have weed delivery there, and too, it's a game changer. And the drive-through dispensaries, I can't imagine the ease, the convenience. Not that it's a lot. I mean, the whole process. Once a year, I pay a $50 fee. And I have the visit with the doctor to renew the reasons I'm getting the card to be able to use it. So there's that. And then I place an order on my phone for the dispensary. I go get it, pick it up. Usually within an hour, it's ready. Go back, pick it up, make sure I have cash. Have to hit the ATM maybe. And that's it. It's very no muss, no fuss. And Scranton's not that big. I could be there and back in 10 minutes. So hey Jay, we're doing good. We're in there. We're hanging in there. Survivors we are. I wish I was less of a whiner, but at least I'm a surviving whiner. There's a weed store in every corner. Yeah, we don't. It'd be a nice neighbor, but nope. had a problem during 2020. You were up the creek without your bills for a week. Ugh. I know a lot of folks who keep cash in the house. Like usually it's seniors, but not always. People who just don't trust banks, or they don't, know where to safely put their money, so they don't. I had a great aunt who died, and then they found like $6,000 in a shoebox under her bed or something like that. She had money in the bank, but she just didn't trust it. So I guess I'm never gonna finish this. I ate a lot of it. Considering I was feeling yucky, I ate quite a bit of it. So there's that. So the rest of Sunday looks quiet for me. Mark's going to be filming something he's making for Cinco de Mayo. I think he's making Tres Leches cake, actually. So he'll be filming that tonight. I don't know if I'm helping him or he's mounting it. If he mounts it, then I can go watch wrestling. If he needs me to hold the camera, then I have to stand in the kitchen and hold the camera. And then tomorrow's just a normal work week. So be paranoid to have that much money in the house. I would too. I mean, I've never been robbed, but nobody is until it happens. Nobody's ever been robbed until they're robbed. The idea of a home invasion is creepy to me, but I don't carry cash on me out. Like when I travel too, if I'm going like on a road trip, and to me, road trip is anything over 3 hours, I would say. I always want to make sure I have cash on me for tolls and whatever, if need be. Some places in Pennsylvania, it's a cash toll. Some places you can't stop. You have to keep driving, and then Easy Pass will like send you a bill and then cancel your registration if you don't pay it. Happened to a friend. Tres Leches is good. It's very simply good. It's sinfully good and it's simply good. Very, very easy. I made one for work 1,000 years ago and people were like, oh my God. And it was like a semi-homemade version. I made like a yellow cake mix. And then heavy cream, evaporated milk, and sweetened condensed milk. Poke, poke, poke. Let it soak overnight. Top it with whipped cream. Everyone thinks you're a hero. It's very tasty. It's very light too. It's not heavy like a cheesecake would be or anything. It's just like cake soaked in really tasty milk. Very good. So, well, folks, I guess we're going to wrap it there for tonight. I'm going to refresh my soda, see if I'm filming, go visit Mark, and it is crack, isn't it, Foxy? And then we'll catch up from there. Yes, they sell sweetened. If you go into our Walmart and then some of the Latin sections, you can get the sweetened condensed milk in a tube that you can squeeze to like put on top of stuff or put it in coffee. Oh God. So I'll leave you with that. Thank you all for joining me tonight. If you came in late, do catch the replay. If not, thanks for being here. Thanks for lurkers. You make up the bulk of the crew, so thank you very much. Please feel free to hit the thumbs up on your way out. Check out in the description in a few minutes. We'll have information about memberships. All our contact information will be down below too. And that's about all I got. So you'll be seeing Mark next. Look after yourselves, look after each other, and we'll talk soon. Okay? Bye.